Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to learn very famous poem written by Walt Whitman, and the title of the poem is Animals. Before we begin line-wise explanation of the poem, let us know little more about the poet Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was born on 31st May 1819 and passed away on 26th March 1892. Walt Whitman was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. His famous work includes Leaves of Grass and Song of Myself. He is also well known as a father of free verse, having popularized free verse pattern in poetry. In this poem, Animals, he wants to tell us that he feels more at home with animals than human beings. He feels he is quite comfortable in the company of animals than in the company of human beings. He finds human beings complicated and false. So let us begin line-wise explanation of the poem Animals by Walt Whitman. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. See, the very first line of the poem is I think I could turn and live with animals. It means that here the word turn means to transform. Poet says that he can transform himself into an animal and can live with them. In fact, he wants to be in the company of animals. Now, why he wants to be in the company of animals, that is given in the second half of this line. They are so placid and self-contained. Placid, it means they are not getting easily upset. They are very calm, they are very cool, and they are self-contained too. They are satisfied, and hence he says that he could transform himself and live into company of animals. I stand and look at them long and long, and he is not being getting fed up being in the company of animals. So he says he can stand and look at them long and long. Here poet has used figure of speech, alliteration as well as repetition. Alliteration as the sound L is repeated, and repetition because word long and long is repeated. Let's begin with the second stanza now. They do not wait and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me seek, discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Now, here in the second stanza, poet has highlighted what qualities those animals or what virtues those animals possess and what we lack, we human beings lack in us. The very first line of the second stanza is they do not sweat and whine about their condition. See, this is what we human beings do. We all the time we complain. Whine, it means to complain. We all the time we are complaining about our condition. Even if we secure something, even if we get something, still we are complaining for not having something else. So we are not satisfied, and as we are not satisfied, all the time we complain, we whine for where we are. On the other hand, they here it means animals. Animals do not sweat, they do not run after materialistic things, and they do not even complain. In whichever condition, in whichever situation they are happy over there. They never complain for being in that particular condition, and that is something is more appealing to poet, that those animals, they do not sweat, they do not whine, they do not complain at all. See now next line. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Poet says that these animals, they do not lie awake thinking about maybe about future or whatever other things. They do not lie awake like we human beings do and weep for their sins, and they never feel regret, or they are not feeling regret, or they are not feeling sad for what things that they have done. On the other hand, we human beings, we lie awake in the bed, we are restless, all the time we have worries, we are surrounded by various kinds of anxieties, but that is not the case with animals. See now, third stanza. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. These animals, they have not been worshipping to anyone. And that is something appeals the poet most. He says that even though those animals are not paying their duty to God or their ancestors, they are still satisfied. See now, it is given in fourth stanza, fourth line of this stanza. Not one is dissatisfied. It means no one is dissatisfied. It means all are satisfied. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Demented, it means crazy. No one is crazy for the things that they do not have. They are very, very calm. They are satisfied. They are not crazy for the things. They are not crazy for materialistic things. On the other hand, we human beings, we are never satisfied. And moreover, we are crazy. We want different things. We become at times so crazy that we go to any extreme limit. And that's what he says, that these animals are not crazy for owning things. Now let's begin with the next stanza. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. These animals, they are not paying tribute to their ancestors, they are not bowing before anyone. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Respectable here, it means too happy or and satisfied. He says that not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. As these animals possess all these qualities, these virtues, these characteristic features in them, hence poet is ready to accept them the way they are. Now let's begin with the next stanza. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. They bring me tokens. Now, what it mean by tokens? Tokens here it means virtues like innocence, simplicity, satisfaction, gratitude, and lot many. All these tokens, these characteristic features, these virtues, even we human beings had once with us. But over the period of time, we have lost them somewhere. And so, poet says, they bring me tokens of myself. These tokens were already possessed by human beings, but we lost them somewhere. And now animals are reminding us of our virtues, of our qualities. So he says, they bring me tokens of myself. They evince it means show. They show them plainly in their possession. They own all these things. They are still carrying those tokens with them. They still have those virtues in them. I wonder where they get those tokens. And poet is wondering from where have those animals got those tokens. And then he is pondering over it and he is asking this question to himself. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? He says that he feels that he's pondering over it and he feels over a long time back he had dropped those tokens, those virtues negligently. He was very ignorant and he did not know when did he miss those tokens, where he lost those tokens in his life. And this is how this poem is reminding us of the virtues that we should have, we should possess. And hence, poet wants to tell us through this poem that he is finding himself comfortable in the company of animals, as animals still hold these virtues with them. Now let's see what figures of speech have been used here in this poem. The first figure of speech used in the poem is alliteration. In the first stanza, I stand and look at them long and long. Second is, they do not sweat or whine about their condition. Here, the figure of speech used by poet is onomatopoeia, as the word whine reminds us of the whining sound. So, any word that reminds us of a sound is an example of figure of speech, onomatopoeia. Third is, not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Here, figure of speech repetition is used, as word not one is repeated twice. Next is, did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently dropped them? Here, poet has asked this in question pattern, and hence it is interrogation. And last but not least, a very important feature of the poem is it is written in free verse pattern. It is a pattern that was made popular in American poetry by Walt Whitman. It will definitely help you while writing appreciation of this poem. Hope you like this video. If you like it, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.